I think losing streak is to make a small break for one day or something, but I never do that because I really like playing and I just keep playing and try to win next game.
Just continue hitting, fine match.
I don't often find myself on a losing streak, but normally if that happens, I'll just stop playing ranked for the day, go play some unranked with people, play Overthrow, play a different video game, just kind of step away from it.
I stress out, I listen to like some music, just trying to calm me down. And then once I'm calm or like I had a rest, I try to get back and break that streak.
I'm a really emotional, stable guy, I say. I don't really get angry that easily, so it doesn't really affect me. Just play another game with it. You'll gradually get a win.
Losing streak shouldn't be like special situation because losing shouldn't influence you so much.
I like to take a break, usually. If it's a like burnt out kind of streak, then I just take a long break. I just find myself doing something else.
I'm just going for sports and do something not Dota. Just reading books, walking outside, going for sports and just doing something.
I'll lose like 8 games in a row and then the next 8 games I'll win. So I'm pretty used to having losing streaks, so it's not that bad for me.
I'm just taking a break from matches and go watching replays. It's more profitable than just losing and losing.
Welcome back to ESL One Katowice. Yes, how to deal with losing streaks. I'm sure a member or two of our panel have had the chance to do that, although not Kevin, because he doesn't go through losing streaks, obviously. Kat, how do you cope with them?
Well, as Peter said, I just keep on hitting the find match button. I am committed to losing. After I start a losing streak, and it's a long one too, I'm just like,
have you got?
Let's see if I can start a record. Let's see what happens.
Right, exactly.
You know?
Has it got to double figures?
Yeah, it definitely has.
Okay.
Yeah.
More than 20?
No, not more than 20, but definitely more than 10.
Right. When
maybe
we were in,
12, 14.
When we were in China, what did Will get up to?
Oh,
30?
Ben 40. And Blitz had a real bad time.
They did, didn't they? It was really weird.
With our party stacks, which I was not a part of because I understood. I've been to China enough with our fellow talent.
Was Jack involved in that?
Jack was involved in that. He may have had a bigger part to play than most.
Don't play with Jack.
Yes. Jack, if you're out there watching, sorry, buddy.
I love Jack. I actually love playing with Jack. When he's awake, unfortunately, that's about 5% of the time, so.
Let's get into game number 2. As you can see, the boys from Evil Geniuses are almost ready to get into draft number 2. Likewise, Kinguin all gathered round one particular PC in the center, and they will be ready for this draft any moment now. Kat, change up for Kinguin here?
Yeah, I was looking through some of the drafts. This could be where the Lone Druid comes out, or they're going to switch it over to the Brewmaster, or maybe they're just going to maintain faith, and they're still going to get the Omni Knight. I personally feel like Terrorblade is an acceptable 1-2. I don't know about getting your other core in that 1-2 as well. Like, I felt like Evil Geniuses had won the draft from like the 3rd pick. Even like the first 2, because of the fact that I knew exactly what Kinguin was going to be doing. It's like, oh, Nisha's playing the Terrorblade, let's just stop that because we know that Kinguin are not going to put the carry duties on Exotic Deer. They're always going to back up Nisha, they're going to play a 4 protect 1 around him, and so as long as we counter that hero, we're good.
I'm not really sure what they should do, I guess. Evil Genius is just kind of dominated with Beastmaster alone is what it felt like, so maybe they let that through again. They actually did ban in the first phase. I felt like that was the bigger problem. Like, any other hero, I feel like, isn't as able to run at people like that. It's very bizarre watching it, but it looked like a pub game where you just outskilled your opponents and you did so much AoE damage repeatedly that you just won the tri lane. Maybe they could have beaten that with like tankier supports or something, but all of that drafting advantage just to beat a Beastmaster wouldn't make sense.
Well, to be fair, EG does have the same theory with Sand King replacing the Beastmaster.
It's not as good. It's been nerfed for like a year or 2. Beastmaster's just been buffed and buffed, kind of.
Not a surprise, Alan, is it, to see that Beastmaster ban?
No, not at all. And I think this was the most logical adjustment that Team Kinguin could make with their opening bans. They had banned the Razor before the first game. EG's only 1-4 with that Razor. Very meta hero, but not something that they've necessarily looked dominant with themselves. And Kinguin just need, this is going to sound too simple, but they need to find a way to play on the opposing side of the map. They're adept at a team at doing that. Didn't happen in the last game. Last game, after the 7-minute mark, there were 22 kills on both sides that happened. 2 of them were on the Radiant side of the map. 2 on Kinguins. It was just that Beastmaster Coddle spam held it entirely on the Dire side.
So the response picks are Elder Titan and a Sand King. That should be enough power to be able to shut down Sumail, especially if those are both supports, but could be offlane Sand King too.
It almost certainly will be with the way that Kinguin run it. And again, this is the thing, we talk about the tier 2 teams and them only doing one thing. Kinguin is, their strats are all very similar, but they do have a wider hero pool than some of the other mid-tier teams out there, which I quite like.
So I thought it was very interesting because Kinguin actually think that Omni Knight is a counter to the Razor. Still did not pick it up. Brewmaster also been an acceptable hero against the Razor in times. Doesn't pick that up either. They instead fully invest into the concept of early team fight power, right? Both ET and Sand King give you that kind of aggression. So this is, I think, more of an overall adjustment that Kinguin are making. Instead of matching the hero problem and trying to get the better matchup in that regard, they're trying to get a tempo.
Do you feel like they've also decided, screw you guys, we're going to do what we want to do?
It's exactly what they're doing.
It feels like, doesn't it? They're like, we're good at we know what counters that, but we don't care.
No, again, when some of these tier 2 teams, very, very talented, but not necessarily with the track record of land success, show up at these events, that's a very common thing that they'll do. They'll say, look, we're comfortable with a certain set of strats and a certain set of heroes. That's what we do, and they're very susceptible to getting punished.
I feel like I don't have as much faith in Omni Knight recently anyways, other than maybe like when Ice played and got that Ags refresher or whatever, and maybe the time Newbie played it where KP just had an amazing game. It feels like a lot of teams know how to deal with them.
Yeah, it's had standout moments, isn't it? But
overall,
continual
not been as good.
Games.
He just doesn't give you as much gank pressure. He doesn't allow you to kill heroes as well. Like even the cast range of Purify is so low that you kind of have to already be in the mix for that offensive damage to be in any way effective or surprising. So.
Do you know what I had in my head then, Kevin, when you were saying those things?
What?
I just had this vision of Jake, Siraxian Slacks at home going, you're wrong, Purge, you're wrong!
He's barely played Omni Knight.
And shouting at the screen right now.
Jake, when he's at these events, he's always rooting against the Omni Knight because he doesn't want him to get nerfed.
So I think this is, EG are showing us something new. I'm like pretty certain about this because the Coddle has always been paired up with the Beastmaster or Sand King when it comes to what are they enabling for Sumail with this Coddle pickup. And obviously, neither one is going to be picked up here. So I think EG is going to give us a different look for this last one. Sure, this is a really long shot. But Legion Commander was one of the heroes that was a spam with Coddle long time ago, and that hero was still in the meta.
It's another one for hitting enemy heroes too, and trading and getting kills, so I could see it work. I mean, it's a little bit harder than Beastmaster to just outplay your opponents, I feel, because it's a little bit more straightforward what you do, but I could see something like that. I've been expecting it for a bit.
The other 2 Sumail heroes that they've paired with the Coddle in the recent past have been the Tidehunter, no huge surprise there, but also the Earthshaker.
Huh. Don't know.
They beat Na'Vi with that at Genting.
Earthshaker could work. It's not a bad game for it.
I mean, you think back to the Liquid strats around TI where they're running those Coddle Earthshaker aggressive.
But it's just Earthshaker is a lot worse in the early game for fighting heroes, like all his talent changes and stuff like that. It's not
just
really
the
as good.
echo change, right? I mean, he's so much less burst damage now.
No, it's more that you don't get the 10 strength at 10, which translates to 50 damage every time you enchant Totem, and the 50 damage perk at 15. Like, so it's not as easy to ramp up into being this like crazy force, like kind of like Beastmaster was last game.
Witch Doctor, so maybe they are expecting the Tidehunter here. Probably one of the best heroes to cut down that tanky pickup.
Oh, I like it against the Razor anyway. Any of those big tanky cores, once you get Maledict on you, all of a sudden feel so much more squishy.
And they do have a nice combination where they have that guaranteed team fight damage.
Okay, interesting line pick. So more disable, some bursts, but I should say a lot of disable really. Can be very effective at covering your bases on a lot of cores, but definitely surprising to see it picked here so early when it doesn't have like a super obvious standout reason to pick him. I mean, easier to kill Sand King, I guess, but
still no Terrorblade.
No.
Oh.
I guess that's one good reason.
Go ahead, Kinguin.
Yeah. We'll mana drain it.
Yeah.
They ran Lion Coddle against Complexity's Terrorblade a week ago. right? Just focusing on the burst damage.
So maybe they open with it to say,
the other one.
go ahead, pick Terrorblade, and now they're going to pick Terrorblade? Is that the move?
Yeah, I could see that. Actually, I could really see that.
Is Terrorblade
fear
great
on the-
against Elder Titan and Sand King and Witch Doctor, though? That sounds a little
Not
scary
against
to me.
DT.
It's like both teams are real set up to say, we're just going to not touch TB this game.
Kinguin knowingly picking Lone Druid into the Keeper of the Light. Again, it feels like Kinguin is pretty stubborn on their concepts of strategy and overcoming certain adversities.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can overcome that better than last game.
Because Razor's really good against it too, right?
I feel like they've been in this
Razor-
position before
yeah.
as well.
Good luck having Rabbit ever. So Batrider will allow them to start fights a little bit easier. It's very nice to have rapid mobile heroes like Batrider when you're playing against something like Elder Titan. Get a pick off, don't let him react. Don't let them take straight 5v5s basically. And with Coddle and Lion and Bat, those three heroes, once they get like Ags and Daytime, it should be really easy for them to pick good fights and get pickoffs at the start.
Yeah, the only gripe about the EG lineup is they do have great wave clear, but they don't have great tower hitters necessarily.
Yes, that's true. Just kill the creeps, no problem, right?
Yeah.
They're also very squishy as a whole, but Kinguin doesn't really have a lot of like tanky frontliner run at you type heroes just yet, so I think it's okay. Maybe Bat can also protect them against potential life. I know, I guess there's no life stealer need. I guess they need a mid on Kinguin.
Yeah, we talk about hero versus hero matchups a lot naturally in these drafts, but the more I think about it, it's just Keeper of the Light is very nearly a hard counter to how Kinguin plays, not necessarily the individual heroes in their pool.
You know, you were going to say Lifestealer protecting against it. I actually think it would be weirdly okay for EG because it's matchup against ET as well as the Lone Druid. I am not big fan of it, but Fnatic at least had the concept that Lifestealer was going to be a good matchup versus the Lone Druid. They ended up losing that game, but at least the theory was there. It would leave us a little bit weird where we'd have to do like Arteezy, Mid-Razor, and Fear safe lane Lifestealer.
They could, I feel like it's a hero that's been streaking a lot this tournament, at least. Brood ban and a Death Prophet ban.
So I think you could go a more traditional Arteezy, recently anyway, Arteezy SF, Arteezy PL, even the Tinker.
They need something higher damage, I agree with you there. Something like DP would have been good. Tanky frontliner, lots of damage output. Disabling heroes, backing them up.
I guess they feel like that Lone Druid pick was maybe a hider for the Brood, because normally the same guy plays both.
Yeah.
Yes.
But maybe they were trying to trick them by the fourth pick Lone Druid, so they've gotten rid of it anyway in the ban.
Just cover your bases anyway.
Yeah, better be safe, right?
To deal with it.
It would have been hard.
Yeah.
They saw what happened to Liquid last night.
Yeah, you don't want to be that Liquid just scrambling to
hide in your
avoid the
fountain.
Brood at all costs.
They still have like a tier 2 tower and you're like, get in the fountain, hurry!
It's coming! Spider trains everywhere.
I actually think both sides are looking at very similar heroes. And the Lifestealer, good call. Good call. So once again, we talk about the Nisha PL. They do run a core Venge. I just don't know that it's that great this game.
How is the Medusa in here now?
Yeah, Medusa.
It's banned.
2 and 2.
It's banned?
Yep. It's the 4th ban EG side.
What if they did like...
really?
Yep.
See, this is why I need new eyes.
Oh, God. Okay.
Can't have mine.
What a shame.
Don't
Thanks,
take
Coach.
my eyes, Paul. I want them. I need them.
I'd want to see that negotiation.
I'm okay with the... You know, I actually would be... Oh, no, that's a Razor. I was thinking about a bench pick.
What about the Dragon Knight? Is that banned?
Maybe the OD, but it'd be so greedy. You'd be very reliant on your first 3 to actually be able to give you the time needed.
Yeah.
Oh no, not the Zeus again. Come on, Kinguin. I thought that was a meme that you learned from.
Well,
they got whomped in that game.
I mean,
it got destroyed in that game. And
it is scary though with the ET.
Yeah, it's
That's
scary.
a lot of
with the
damage,
ET.
man.
They can do that from range consistently. It's going to get eaten alive by Lifestealer and probably
I just want to calm him down. You're
It's
right.
cool.
You're okay because I know what happened last time.
They thought they had the matchup with the Ember Spear, and they were like, "Oh, this is gonna be great." And they just got whomped.
Yeah.
He's right.
Yeah.
And they've got a Lifestealer.
It's not the
Okay, let's get some predictions based on. I think I know where this is going, but let's check anyway. Alan.
EG.
Yeah, I'm going to go EG, but the Theory Crafting me loves the Zeus pick. I want to see Hero more. But yeah, EG's probably going to win this.
Okay. Do I even need to ask?
No,
Kat?
you don't.
I don't? Okay,
You
let's
don't.
move on swiftly. It's not the team with the Zeus on, I think, as far as Cap's concerned. Let's find out as we head over to our commentary team for game number 2. Gents, are you all ready for a Zeus game?
I am. I think, you know, there's a lot of reasons why it shouldn't work, but at the same time, if a team's picking it in this sort of situation, they've got to have a plan.
Exactly.
They've got to have a plan for
Well, let's find out what that plan is. Enjoy, boys.
Thank you very much, Paul. Indeed, this Zeus pick. Blitz, talk to me about it. The panel, they weren't fans of it. Purge, sort of on the same wavelength as me. He wants to see it work. I want to see it work, because they must have some idea with it, but they picked it into a Lifestealer core.
Let's go King Gwyn.
King Gwyn. Didn't work out in game 1. Let's see what happens in game 2.
Let's not do it. Let's not do it. Let's go
EG. Come on. There we go. We've jinxed it for the Polish boys. Let's have a look. King Gwyn versus EG. I don't know, man. The Zeus coming through as 5th. But it is great with the Out of Time. That is true. There is certain synergy there. If you get the right lane, you are going to farm. There's no doubt about it. You can get yourself that quick axe timing or whatever you want to get. But EG's lineup, they have the means to play around a core Zeus.
Yeah.
It's...
Oh, they are going to find Exotic D here. He's going to get blasted. Nope, they're not going to go for the dive. Gets low, though.
They'll go for the bear instead. That's worth more money, Blitz.
Is
They
it?
can get it, but they
More
can't
than First
get
Blood?
I think it might be, you know.
Mm.
Is it?
30 seconds.
No, I don't think it is if it's split between people. Because level 1 kills like, what, 157 gold normally? And then the First Blood bounty.
Oh, did you see that, by the way? Exotic Deer, he blocked them with his tree. That's what allowed him to... He planted a branch.
He's a smart man.
Just pointing that out.
These are the kind of plays that we need to see from King Gwyn.
Yeah.
If they're going to get this game in return. Second game into the series, 1 game down against EG.
The battle begins.
It's a cool move. I love when people do that, when they abuse that branch. When I first saw that, I was like, that was made for people like Jimmy Demon Ho. That was created for him. Sumeldo, he's going to get the one-on-one. So I kind of want to talk about, if it's okay, like the ET versus carry or core interactions. So you take this ET, and he's very good against Terrorblade and Morphling and all those cores. But the downside is, and what people often open up is, once you take the ET, people will take the Lifestealer as in a response. Because normally, against most cores, he's going to be very useful. And if you think about it, like when you're playing a 4 position, you want to be able to kill at all times, Owen. Like that's the strength of the hero, is that, you know, that's why YapzOr and all those other really good 4s look so good, is that they have the potential to set up for kills on cores. But when you play Lifestealer against the ET, Elder Titan can't do anything, and you get to gap close against him very easily, which makes it incredibly hard to play that matchup.
And looking at the lane matchups that we've got going on as well, is this EG finding the lane matchups that they want?
I think so. Like, they get a Batrider plus Keeper of the Light. And that's what I meant when I said I'm not sure if it's the Keeper of the Light or the Beastmaster that's the issue for King Gwyn. I said I wanted to watch the replay, but clearly for EG, like, there's a high premium on...
Is that going to kill the bear?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice deny.
Very nice indeed. Not wanting to give up that 300 gold.
Hey, that's almost First Blood money.
It's good. Did you actually know the
I
mouse
don't
on
know,
it?
dude.
You think? It's got to be close.
I'm the worst caster, I think, out of everybody when it comes to mechanics.
You covered yourself at the end now. We're just going to full-on flame yourself, Blitz.
When it comes to the mechanics, I'm just bad. I keep losing solo queue games, man.
No.
I'm going to lose my 6K.
Well, what MMR are you at the moment?
I don't know. I'm like 62, 50 or something.
What rank is that in A?
I don't remember.
You're top 500, aren't you?
Yeah.
Top 5.
I've got a few accounts in there,
Yeah.
but it's just sad when it used to be... I don't get to play Dota anymore, man. What about you? How's your journey to 5K going?
I'm at 4.7 at the moment.
Oh, I'm getting nervous.
That 5K is looming. Oh, so far, no First Blood in this game as of yet. The bear continuously getting bullied though, Sumail. Keeping the stacks very high on it, so it's hard for Exotic Deer to really keep the bear in the lane. Let's keep backing it in and out of it. CS mid, as expected, straight up trade farm. Niche is getting farm, Arteezy is getting farm. Neither hero really to be threatened by one another. Very hard for really Arteezy to get in onto the Zeus with just the level 1 open wounds. Unless Nisha massively oversteps the mark, so for the most part, neither hero should die in that 1v1.
Yeah, Sphere at bottom lane. Just asking a bit.
And this farm looking good, 10 for 4 on this bottom lane Razor that Fear's in at the moment.
Yeah,
And making sure that the Sand King is not getting a lot. Sand King struggling to find CS down here.
I think they learned, by the way. So I was telling you how different teams treat different cores, right? And the Nature's Prophet on Kinguin, the reason why it works is because it never has to be the reason they win or lose, right? It's like a backup core option. I think Razor's kind of similar in that vein. Is he can't be your real one position. He has to be sort of your accessory or anti-core. That's how Liquid runs it, for example. And I think they're one of the more successful Razor teams because they don't put, they try not to put Miracle on this hero. They try to put Matama Man as often as possible. I think Miracle only has 1 game on this hero, as opposed to the amount that Matama Man plays in. I think this has to be similar where Arteezy's not the one that plays the Razor, but it should be Fear. Because in the LGD game, it was Arteezy.
Oh, bottom lane crit. Goes full low there to the Costa.
Nice
he
Hex.
actually mans up, turns around with the Hex. Will lose his life for it, so Kinguin get first blood. Fear does manage to find 1 kill, though, in return. Well, that's Kinguin. Getting themselves that first blood.
Very nice first blood. As Crit was in a pretty dead situation there. Really nice pickup from them. They're committing for the safe lane. But it was similar to the game that we casted yesterday, if you remember, the Earthshaker, when he doesn't have a game to go into mid, it makes it really hard to play. That's why Arteezy's mid and not Fear or anything like that, because if you have an ET, maybe you get some kill potential on the Razor or on the Batrider. But by putting Arteezy mid, you deny the 4 position the option of going mid, and that's such a huge thing.
Like, Arteezy cannot get ganked.
Yes.
Like, they do have the Elder Titan sweeping across, but as you say, with the Rage there, there's no sort of instant stun. There's always going to be sort of those visual indicators, whether it be the cast flying in or the Spirit being above him. So Arteezy will always be able to rage and retreat.
Yeah, that's why if you're Kinguin, you want to heavily focus. That's why you're playing heavily in the safe lane. Because oftentimes as a 4 position, you often see in pro games like the 4 positions running to the off lane, the enemy off lane, or the enemy mid. You rarely want to be in the safe lane because with 2 heroes, you can usually secure that lane anyways. But because he doesn't have the option of running mid, and if you deny that, then it makes it even better to play.
Do you like this new sort of trend on the Lifestealers going for the treads more so than the phase nowadays?
I think so. It's in mid. Now would be the timing to try to make a move here, as Nisha has no mana though.
And that's the thing as well with the Quick Infest, he's back up to full health. He has got the Mango, but Arteezy being a strength hero and having those strength treads as well at this stage, he's pretty tanky for 5 minutes in. Much too tanky for Zeus to zap down. Bottom lane, an attempt to being made onto Palos, but 2 TPs coming through. Fear and Crit. Have to be careful. The sleep from Katzel does catch on to both of them. These rotations could look to punish EG. They look towards Fear. Cast bounces out. They surround him with the bear. Fear. Will he fall here? Another bounce off the neutral creeps. Katzel trying to chase Fear. Not speedy enough. Spirit gets thrown out. Katzel will get the kill. Same time mid, Arteezy going for a bit of a chase down onto Nisha.
Yeah, he should be just fine here. Was gambling on the rune a little bit, but unfortunately did not pick it up. Still doing fine though in CS. 32 CS. This is Merlini. Shout out to him. You used to always say that Zeus is one of the best heroes at always going at least even.
Oh, absolutely.
The downside is he can't deny you.
No.
But you'll get your own farm.
No, you're not denying anything as the Zeus. Anyway, he's got two creeps denied at the moment. Crit. She pops down the sentry here, Alisash. To be careful, they did try and go for the stomp onto Crit, but Crit for a bit of the jukes. Alisash trying for the invis body blocks. It's sort of working out. Crit will turn with the stun, and that will keep him safe indeed for now.
Yeah. Alisash doesn't have Maledict? It's very interesting.
Yeah, 2 in the cask and 1 in the heal for now.
We've seen the meta nowadays be a lot of people just straight up go for Maledict level 1 now.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
It would be really useful against the Razor too. I guess he doesn't see a lot of value in it against the Batrider, who would be hard to get it on in the first place, or the Lifestealer. I guess it's next to useless against.
Bottom lane Pados. Has to be careful. He does have the sticky napalm stacks really building up. Indeed, they're looking to turn. Stomp won't quite catch him. Sumail goes for the Mango. TP out. Boris tries to be back there. Oh, not even needed. Nisha. Zeus out now as he gets the kill on Sumail.
Way too aggressive right there. Wanted to try to pressure, maybe kill the Sand King. Sand King's only got 11 CS though, and Sumail's up to 41. So I think they're sort of okay with that. That's one of those weird trades where both teams are okay with it, because Sumail got an entire wave, and he continues to pressure top, and he forced the Zeus ult. But in exchange, like, Kinguin get a really high priority target.
Crit looking to grab that bounty rune, but will be unsuccessful. Bear still able to grab it. So Exotic Deer will take both of them. Crit grabbing an Arcane Rune, but unlikely to do anything with it as Kato does spot it out. You've got a movement from Kinguin slightly towards this top lane. Nisha has been brought up here. Misery just keeping himself hidden in the trees. This whole movement will be spotted out by EG. They've got that observer ward down. They know that Zeus is in this lane top.
Yeah. Misery being given a lane. I like this. And now there's a stack as well. They're going to secure it. By the way, Owen was right when it came to the net worth stuff.
Which one?
Last game?
Oh, back, yes. Yeah. It was crit being used as a courier.
We were both kind of correct there.
We were. He had the axe, but he also slightly didn't have the axe. This game, 3 for 1. This movement from Zeus, he's still sort of hanging around this top part of the map. It looks like he's just a little bit scared of going to the mid now. With the levels on farm that Arteezy has, he's very precautious about going there on his own. Arteezy nearly has Armlet complete on top of the treads.
Yeah, he's farming at a really nice pace right now. But so is Zeus. It's the other 2 cores from Kinguin right now that I'm worried about.
Do find crit here with a wraparound. He's caught out with a quick stun and the burst damage too high from Nisha. So 4 kills now for Kinguin.
He actually just got burned.
So what do we got here? Slightly better win rate with the power treads.
Both under 50% though.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, Lifestealer, definitely a hero that has its flaws.
You play carry, Owen. What do you not like about him right now?
I think it's the whole sort of single targetness of him. That's sort of all he offers, and especially in a meta where you're getting your razors and such and heavy disables, it's very hard to play in a lot of games.
Bottom tier.
Burrow Strike leading. Ellie Sash and Exotic Deer surrounding him. The pop epicenter as well. Fear will fall. Kinguin making some nice aggressive movements, getting the kills. But as you can see from the net worth, still the fact that the 3 cores of EG are farming that little bit better keeps them with that slight lead. But Kinguin certainly doing their best to sort of swing that round, punish the cores of EG, and make sure that they can close this gap.
Yeah. Kuroki was always fond of saying, somebody's got to die in Dota. That's going to be Fear Hairs at bottom. Exotic Deer.
There's the surprise Infest Bomb onto the Deer. Savage Roar ain't going to work with a Rage up on Artur.
Yeah, this is one of the better Lifestealer games because he's good against the Lone Druid and he's good against the against the Zeus and the ET. He's pretty much good against every hero in this game.
He is. It's a very strong hero this game. And you've got great heroes to play around it if you have got that bat that is going to be the vessel to get you in for those Infest ganks.
Unfortunate cast bounces.
Still drop the Death Ward with an attempt on Fear.
Oh, he missed on the...
Just off the mark there with that nuke, with the Lightning Bolt.
That would have been the kill.
So Fear will get himself away. Bottom lane, Patos. Has to be careful. Crit there over the trees. Trying to keep tabs on him. Go for the sleep stomp onto the creeps. Arteezy still moving forward. Arteezy can just turn for the kill. Crit's there. The stun will actually miss. The Hex, of course, unmissable. Will come through from Crit. And he does apologize as well for the missed stun. That's a good boy, Crit.
If he mixed...
And apologizes again.
If he accidentally hexed the creep, what would you have said?
That, I would have, I don't know. I would have been speechless.
A weird defense, though. The rest of his team wasn't coming.
No, but Katsu just wanted to go in.
He TP'd down there, threw out the stun to alert them to the fact that he was down there, and then he tried to run. That was crazy.
Raw? Not quite in range there. Very close to having Misery off the back of that, but Misery keeps himself out.
Aether Lens, by the way, completed on the Zeus.
And what is the build going to be overall for these? Aether Lens, Blink, yours. Are you a fan of this? Nowadays, I kind of like it when we see Zeus's go for the Ags Rush. Or do you think you still have to play it this way?
Somebody told me recently that you have to go Aether Lens.
Yeah.
Or you should, because it's a better run-up item than going straight for the Aghanims.
But do you like the fact that he's going Aether Lens, Blink, and Jules first?
I don't know how much he needs the Ags in this game. I think because he's going to play such an important role in this game, that it's better for him to play very tanky or survivable. I think he's making the correct decision here.
Okay. Oh, top lane, the push comes through from Kinguin, and they were able to catch out Misery.
Yeah. Also a very nice timed ult on Zeus, which spotted the Lifestealer Bat Rider rotation.
Katsu. It's been caught out by the Hex, buying time for Arteezy to close the gap. And as we know it, once Arteezy can get his hands on the Elder Titan, this Elder Titan hero, it just gets absolutely destroyed by a Lifestealer.
Yeah, that's why people aren't. They were for a while like first two picking ET, but they felt like it was awkward because nowadays you can just open up with the Lifestealer. I think Arteezy accidentally canceled Crit's TP, by the way, which is why he's saying thanks. Right. He walked right next to him to hit the cask.
Exotic Deer, just getting the money up. He's still on good track to get the farm. Second on the graph, obviously. The fact that Arteezy keeps getting these kills, it is keeping this Lifestealer very much at the top. 7k net worth on Arteezy as he picks up Katso once again. Crit should be in trouble. The bear chasing him down. Sumel's actually there to back him up, but the root comes through. Does actually get the finger off before he falls, which will allow Arteezy and Sumel to get themselves a second kill, maybe even a third. As they look towards Pados, he has the burrow strike, but the sticky napalm slowing him down will set up for a third kill for EG around that area of the map. 4k lead now for Evil Geniuses. This Lifestealer, we thought it was going to be a problem. So far, it really is looking to be that. He's 600 gold away from having Desolator on top of the Armlet Treads at 14 minutes. And once he's got these Desos, some of these heroes are going to die in 3-4 hits.
Yeah, this is starting to become such a pain for him. You see every single time, Katsor's like, I will throw my stomp out and it'll do nothing, but what else are you supposed to do? You get chunked down, you only have 1,000 HP. He needs a 4-staff if he's ever going to survive these engagements, not very close to it. He's got one component, but finding farm right now for him is a bit difficult because of the other two cores on Kinguin really need some farm picked up. And that's why the Lifestealer as a counter to the ET is so good. It feels so miserable to play. Can't really do much. I think what Kinguin thought was that if they open up with the ET, that they would discourage the Terrorblade because they were open for a TB counter still. And so they said, okay, we're going to take this Lifestealer, or we're going to take this ET, EG. Will they still pick Lifestealer? We'll find out.
Kinguin up on this top tier 1 tower, looking to continue to secure gold for Exotic Deer as he does get closer and closer to that relic. We're about 3k gold with that tower gone down, but 15 minutes, there we have it. And Lifestealer having the treads, Armlet, Desolator. It's got to be one of the quicker timings. We saw quick timings for Sumel last game. I don't know if we can get any stats for this. It might not be record breaking on the Lifestealer, but it's definitely fast from Arteezy.
You knew the Beastmaster one was.
Yes, you could just feel in that game that a Beastmaster should not have all those items at 20 minutes in.
Yeah. Arteezy gonna get maned up. How far is Misery, by the way, from the Axe? He's almost got it.
Very close. A lot of big items coming out for EG. And that Axe is just going to be, I mean, as always, it's always strong, but especially when you're playing against a lineup that's sort of relying on a Zeus. You know, you're going to have sort of the Zeus with a D push, slowly spamming the enemy down. But the heal from the Cottle Blast is pretty much going to offset the entire damage output of the Zeus on these defenses.
Yeah, it's going to make it really difficult for them to hold the high ground. Okay, so here's how you should envision it, right? Oftentimes when you're playing Lifestealer, the problem is like you'll play against a Bad Rider or something like that, and you'll go up the high ground and you'll just start hitting the tower and you'll get pulled in and you'll just die. But if you look at Kinguin's lineup, they don't have the best way to spam out. Like it's a Zeus and an ET, but functionally the Lifestealer doesn't care about either of those heroes. So Fear gonna get stunned up, but it's less of a core game right now and a support. It's such an important support meta, and Kinguin can't do anything.
Oh, here comes Sumel, crit and Arteezy. They're looking for a catch. They'll jump straight over Katso, ignoring him, going for the bigger kill. They find the Zeus. Now they turn their attention towards Katso. Perfect decision-making there from EG. They see Katso, they immediately blink over him, know that he's watching over someone else, and they get 2 kills for Arteezy out of that move.
Yep, that's... I feel bad for Katsor, because playing this kind of matchup, there's nothing for him to do. Like
I mean, it really does feel like the draft has been a huge issue for Kinguin this game.
If you can't enable your supports, the game's always going to be a little bit difficult. Of course, they still can hold high ground. Like if EG overextends, this Lifestealer does get ruined by the root on on Lone Druid. So this game isn't over by any means. Not even close, but just from the early game perspective, it's very hard when your 4 position can't enable itself. Like when your cores don't enable your 4 position, then you're going to see games like this where the early game becomes very disastrous.
Pre-18-minute sags there for Misery. Kinguin will try and move out with the smoke. It's a hard, I mean, the question is, who are they sort of hoping to find off the back of it? Normally you want to find a core, but do they even have the chance to kill a core? They're looking towards Arteezy. If they can get the instant stun, maybe, and they do. They get the Epi, the Burrow, the Death Ward, everything down onto Arteezy, but he still gets the Rage off. Now he turns with the double damage, starting to lifesteal back up, but he has the Infest as well. Jumps into crit to protect him from the Death Ward damage. Arteezy will survive. Fear gets a triple kill. This game, it looks to be an incredibly rough position for Kinguin, as EG, I said it game one, they have just turned up today, and it really feels like nothing is going to stop the boys in blue from winning these games.
Yeah, it's more draft related than play, right? Like they set a really cool draft trap. Kinguin really thought the TB was coming, so they're like, okay, we'll open up with the CT. Then all 5 of their heroes get countered by a Lifestealer.
Yeah, this Arteezy Lifestealer has, as you say, the pick and the play has been, it's been perfect from Arteezy.
They had such a good, that was such a good gank attempt, but their heroes just aren't good against it. So now, Kinguin, the game changes. It becomes about holding the high ground and hoping that EG slips up. It no longer becomes, okay guys, we have to go smoke and make a play together. I think it becomes, all right, we got to hold high ground and hope that Exotic Deer gets 6-slotted. And if he does, like, maybe we can catch them off guards. When Arteezy, like, if he dies even once, like, he's going to feed a lot of gold away.
And I think that's the thing as well, as you say with Exotic Deer, you know, on the Lone Druid, sure, he can try and get those 6 slots, he can farm up, but obviously a lot of the ways he's going to look to play the game with the Lone Druid is going for that split push. We'll hold that for though, because mid lane Pados does jump in. They are able to get the jump onto crit, so they'll take off the line. But the split push that Exotic Deer is going to look for is going to sort of have the same problem as last game. You're doing it against the Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
EG have ways to react to that split pressure.
And that's why I think Coddle's making, like, this resurgence in this meta. Like, we hadn't seen him in a while, but like, Liquid are good trendsetters in the sense that, like, they see these heroes like Nature's Prophet and Lone Druid coming back while you pick this Keeper of the Light, and he doesn't get punished by those heroes because they're inherently slower. Like, if you can pull off Keeper of the Light and he just gets to play greedy and farm up and get a quick Ags, it's very difficult to play around that fact.
It's, and I think as well, maybe looking at this game, it may sort of be obvious in another sort of sense, but maybe out of the Beastmaster and the Coddle, maybe you actually just ban the Coddle.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, right?
Yeah.
The Beastmaster, I couldn't tell which one was the problem, but I think it's the Coddle's the larger issue for
Because it's more
Kinguin.
flexible. It works in more situations.
It allows them to aggro or play a very aggressive dual lane. And then Misery, it puts the pressure on you. Oftentimes, like, you get this with cores, right? Like, you pick an anti-mage and the enemy team has to do something about it. But Keeper of the Light functionally is the same in that regard. Like, a team like Liquid abuses it the most when they just have GH, and you know he's getting farmed, and you're afraid of it the entire time. And this guy's going to pop out of the jungle with a support sub 20-minute Aghanim Scepter and win all the team fights for his team.
EG now just taking objective after objective with minor repercussions, really, as Kinguin, they are trying to sort of knock on that tier 1 down bottom, but the majority of the team, they're back in the base. They are preparing to form some sort of a defense, and you know it, there's just straight up confidence from EG when they're starting to push onto the tower. It's not even daytime.
Yeah. They need to wait for daytime, though. They wanted to try to abuse the Aegis timing. And what they should do is push out bottom, then they can continue to stay around this top area for another few seconds, and then bring Arteezy back. Because they still want to use this Aegis if possible.
Finally has that force out, Katso. So maybe we'll be able to survive if he gets caught on the front lines, but with the damage that's going to be coming out from EG's lineup and that S&Y on Arteezy as well, it's questionable whether Katso will be able to live in the midst of it all. It's Kinguin, they are smoked. They're hovered around the mid lane. There is a DD here for the taking, but not really any heroes that are amazing at utilizing it on Kinguin's lineup at the moment.
Yeah, and if you're EG, do you even mind running into Kinguin?
And I think, you know, EG as well, they knew that something was going on. They were grouped up as 5. They saw that their top lane was pushing into the base of Kinguin, and no one was there to defend it. So EG not going to get caught out by those sort of movements.
Just pushing in mid now. 1 minute left on the Aegis. Doubt they get high ground, but Arteezy's pinging. Wants to cut the wave at least. They've got a gem now on their Keeper of the Light too. The vision game is going to be so impossible for Kinguin now. Because their Zeus can't leave the base. Like, he doesn't feel very safe doing so. But Kinguin are doing a really good job. They're cutting the waves with the lone Druid Bear. And Patos is playing very aggressively. Because he knows that he can't play safe. He just has to force these engagements somehow. Sumail, he's got a gem, remember.
We'll look for the chase down onto Patos. And as you say, Patos almost forced having to play like this, but inevitably will cost him his life some of the times that he does so.
Yeah, he has to do that. Because look at what happens. The rest of his team gets to have a little bit of farm. You can't just sit, not with this lineup, inside the base and hope to win. You got to take these kinds of risks. If they come and gank you, it means it's info for the rest of your team to play a little bit greedier.
Up top, they're looking to find the bear. Ooh, Stone will be off the mark. Can they find the Hex? Can't quite. The bear will survive. As he gets out of there, Nisha does now have his Blink Ether Lens Yules complete. But as we're seeing, very hard for the Zeus to really have an impact, as the Lifestealer is the big issue, and Zeus doesn't really do much against the Lifestealer. As EG will take themselves another tier 2 tower. It is daytime, so they will look to push up to the base, and here comes the real test. How do Kinguin deal with this?
Spam out with Zeus and hope for the best.
Sustain from Misery though, as we can see, just keeping EG at full health. Just raging, hitting towers, soaking up the heals.
If they had a different hero that could abuse when Arteezy's rage is down, it would be a different story right now. But because it's an ET, he can just rage, hit the high ground, then walk away. And he's doing that every time.
Exotic Deer still trying his best with the split push. He is going to be able to find that tier 2 down bottom. The base slowly getting torn away from them. Arteezy once more, and he goes. That will be the tier 3 complete.
Run away, Siege Creep.
But look at that mid lane. Look at the bear. It's dragged all the mid creeps all the way up to the top behind the Roshan.
Yeah, this is what they need to do.
It's not even the bear, sorry. It's an illusion that he picked up.
He's... Oh, what a beast. He also put the Radiance
onto him before doing the illusion. He's a smart man. Exotic Deer is really... He's doing everything he can this game to give Kinguin that chance. But the question is if it's enough.
I want to highlight too that I really like the way that this guy plays. Because it's really easy if you're in this position and take like note pub players to just hit neutral creeps in this situation, but like you have to put pressure on the map.
Yeah, he's in the lanes all the time.
Yeah, you have to take the risk to push out bottom, then cut the wave mid. This is what you need to do when you're behind, and Misery might just get caught here.
Ooh, goes for the TP, and indeed,
that's a
Jules
gem.
is there. Got the burst. They're bringing in Ellie Sash as well to make sure the Misery will fall. Death Ward down, no messing. And as you say,
Nice
that is
pickup.
gem.
That's how you make him. It's one step at a time.
He's working on his Aghanims now, of course. Nisha. He's coming up to halfway there. Mid lane though, jump in onto the bear. They've got the link with Arteezy. They've certainly got the damage. As the bear gets taken down by the Lifestealer.
This bottom lane being shoved in though, they gotta go back for it. I like this setup too. They're assuming only one hero will deal with this at bottom, and they're hoping that because there's no Keeper of the Light alive, that there's no engagement that can be forced by EG. But the wrong hero is there for them. Like if it was a Razor or Sumail, they would make a move on that. But as soon as they see that it's Arteezy, they just give up on it.
It's got the AC complete, Exotic Deer. And once again, sort of similar situation that Kinguin were in game 1, where EG do have this pretty sizable lead. Kinguin do have wrap potential, but EG have ways to answer it. Can somehow Kinguin be able to outplay EG in this sort of situation? A true test of skill here for the Kinguin side.
EG smoke up. Matches the timing of Roshan too. The question is
on Razor as well for the push.
Yeah, if you're Kinguin, like, do you try to, if they do go for a Roshan, do you contest it? And if you're EG, do you even wait?
Bringing in the team here.
just hits Knight.
They are sort of, as you say, I think they're certainly thinking about Roshan. They will get spotted about their positioning with the Thunder God's Wrath. So Kinguin probably aware that they were heading towards the pit. Kinguin not really in a state to come and contest it. And if they do, could certainly cost them lives. They spot it out, they pop down the stomp. Do they really want to get in there? Katsaw does find the courier here. Oh, but it's a bit of a bait. The shield comes down to the courier will be safe. Sumail's there with the grab, and Katsaw will pay with his life. Instantly buys back though.
They're gonna fight for this rush, they have to.
They've got a good position with the smoke, but look, Misery heads up to check things out, does get caught out straight away by the Burrow Strike. Maledict and Death Ward will finish off Misery. Start to hit into Fear as well. Fear backs off. The Stomp not going to quite catch him as he forces himself to the side. But this is Kinguin getting EG out of the pit. Exotic Deer
look at Exotic
will
Deer.
find a tier 2 Sumail, and Arteezy jump in though. They look towards Katsaw. They get 1, they're going to get 2, they're going to get 3. Arteezy is just too big on this Lifestealer as he picks up a triple kill. Top lane still getting pushed. Crit's going to be there as the answer, as he will hex up the bear. And EG should be able to at least finish off the Rosh. They're not doing it that fast. Of course, Lifestealer are not the best at taking Roshan, despite how farmed he is. As Arteezy getting a little low. He's playing on the edge here. A quick rage, quick wounds as they turn. And EG will get the Rosh. They'll get the Aegis, they'll find the cheese, and all crit. Oh!
He immediately apologized.
Yeah.
Kinguin, they take it in good stride.
They do, they give it a good
They're
game,
good
well
guys.
played back. Yeah, Aegis, Roshan, cheese in the hands of EG. Katsaw's buyback also expended for that attempt to round Roshan, but as we're seeing, they do keep making space for Exotic Deer. Yeah, he was able to force out that fortification, so if he gets round again.
Oh, nice Savage Roar, but is it enough to save him? I don't think so. Sumail's on the hunt. He knows.
Yeah, they're looking for both it. They've got the lockdown onto the Lone Druid himself, surrounding Exotic Deer in the trees. This time his split push will be put to an end. So EG continuing to assert their dominance this game and keep the advantage.
They're going to go high ground here. They're going to recall Arteezy. He's pushing all the waves. Although it gets canceled, this might be an opportunity for them. He doesn't have the Aegis.
He's got the Rage though. Turns towards Nisha and he does have the cheese. He's such a hard target to get in, but with the Rage wearing out, jumped straight into and out of the Siege Creep. Elisash actually going for the TP out, but he just gets 2-shot by this Lifestealer.
He's killing everyone.
He really is. This Lifestealer pick has been absolutely devastating.
That was
and it just makes the game look impossible for Kinguin's heroes to play.
Yeah, that was a really nice dodge though from the stun by hopping into the Infest. He pops out. He matched that timing really well.
And now bottom lane. They're pushing in. There's no Lone Druid for 10 seconds, no ET for 15. They're trying though.
Oh, the Sand King.
Can't get the jump in, and that's the Epicenter whiffed. Fear. Let's take the Maledict and the Burrow Strike to the face. They've got the Sandstorm and the Death Ward down. Fear getting brought down quite low. Death Ward as well will force Arteezy to back up. Shouldn't be quite enough to pop Fear. Fear should be, I say should be safe. It's going to be very close now. He will just be safe enough. At least it pushes EG away. Kinguin will hold, as they are still yet to lose a barracks. They're keeping their barracks alive, Kinguin.
Yeah, but now they're gonna lose their shrine. Night turns to day.
Arteezy's walking around with 5k gold, ready to spend it into whichever he wishes. Nisha does nearly have the Aghanims. 300 gold away until he has that. Sure, Arteezy shouldn't have to care too much about it, but the little backliners, they can start falling very low if the old cloud gets popped above them. Bottom lane, EG, ready to come in again. On the side though, look at this, Pados actually finds out Sumail. Sumail will force himself back. The cask sent out towards him as well. Arteezy standing on the front lines with the Rage, looking for that Rax, and they'll get the range Rax with the Aghanims on Fear. They're pushing down the second set with that Eye of the Storm. Burrow Strike comes out onto Arteezy, but the immediate jump from Sumail will be dodged by Nisha. Same time up top. They're looking for that split push. The Bears coming in. They know that EG has the full 5-man down here. Exotic Deer's being careful though. Now that EG have sort of backed away from that bottom lane, He's got to be very careful if they do start to back up. And EG, they just know that they can outpush any sort of split. They start putting pressure in onto the middle tower, onto the middle set of racks. Exotic Deer gets a bit of damage done onto this, but Sumail's there in time with the blink forward, has the Yours to cancel the initial TP. Exotic Deer will still try his best to run himself away from this. Leaves the bear back. Arteezy will turn his attention towards the bear. They're just interested in keeping Exotic Deer himself alive as the bear will fall. Arteezy gets another 300 gold. Exotic Deer still hiding just out at the range of this vision, but now they see him. They're close enough for the vision. Can they close the gap? Sumail there as well. They're chasing this man down. Pados comes in with a bro play, moves forward, forces Exotic Deer down, and that will make sure that EG can't close the gap, so they will keep that lone druid alive.
Very nice save there. Nisha even using his Aghanim's Cloud, the Nimbus, to save him.
And they've got the Axe on both of the cores now. Nisha, as well as you say, Exotic Deer. Lane trying to go with the Burrow Strike. Quick rage from Arteezy will dodge it. Goes straight to the racks. He's a little scared though. He's playing very careful now. Arteezy knows that the full 5-man is here. It's time for the defense, Exotic Deer included, but Fear, he'll stand on the front lines with the Eye of the Storm, takes down a second set of racks. As EG now, 18k gold lead here for the side. The Bears trying for it. Again, fortification is forced out.
If you get Mega Creep though, it doesn't matter about the split push, because there's still a tier 2 in mid. So at worst you would trade a set of racks for Megas. And that's the position that EG is trying to put Kinguin under. And Kinguin, to their credit, are doing a very good job.
I mean, as we're seeing, Kinguin are seeing that despite any sort of advantage against them, they're very good at holding on. It's just that little bit of potential that they need to swing these sort of games around that's very hard. And this time, as we've been saying, it feels like they sort of made it harder for themselves with their lineup. As these sort of pushes from EG just going ultimately unpunished. Sure, as we're saying, you know, Exotic Deer is finding a little bit in terms of getting a fortification out or finding a tier 3 tower, but he needs so much more at this stage of the game because the rest of his team are finding nothing out of these defenses.
Yeah, there's a lot of orange dots there. Haven't really gotten too many kills lately, is the problem.
I mean, this is the thing as well, you know, with 35 minutes into the game, no surprise really that Arteezy has not died. We knew that it would be a problem trying to kill this Lifestealer, and it absolutely has. They just have no way to kill Arteezy unless he outplays himself at this point.
Yeah, that was the move at top though was really nice.
Once again, in they go.
Alisaz just
He's
runs
trying
in.
to get in. He's gone straight in with the cask and the Death Wall, but Arteezy turns towards him, takes him down in a couple of hits. Thunder God Brute's Wrath is out, but EG, they really don't care. There's a double kill for Arteezy as they just move hero to hero. Quick Finger comes out onto Pados to take him down. There will be a fortification here from Kinguin, but EG just continues to move in. Pados does come in with the Burrow Strike, but Arteezy, he'll turn with Sumail's backup. EG is just ripping Kinguin apart. The Mega Creeps are out. Exotic Deer's trying for the split push, but as you say, there's no amount of split push that can outdo the pressure and the lead that EG have had this game. 25k net worth lead.
He's
They're
gotta
onto
go
the
for
tier
Throne.
4s. He's trying. I mean, he's giving it. Have they got ways of getting back, EG?
Yo, their tower's dying really fast right now.
An Exotic Deer.
Doesn't have a TP, but okay.
I mean, okay, he's keeping the game open. He's keeping the game open.
He took that tier 4 really fast.
If Exotic Deer wins this game, I think, you know,
shave our heads.
There's going to be an Admiral Bulldog watching somewhere that is going to be absolutely losing it. If this Lone Druid can win this game.
They're hunting him though.
They are, and they've found him. He'll go for the Savage Roar.
Doesn't
but now
have a
he knows
TP.
that they're upon him. He's trying to juke himself out of there, but the vision's there. They've got the slow from the open wounds, the control from the lasso. As that will be Exotic Deer gone, and he's down for 70 seconds, does not have buyback. So if EG can group up, push down a lane, this game will surely be over.
Yeah, but the real hero is still alive. The bear.
Oh, that's true. Without Ags. That is absolutely true. So there is still going to be some of that split pressure. He's playing it very careful with the bear at the moment. Wants to make sure that EG aren't sort of still in the neighborhood. Pados tries to go with the lead in from the Burrow Strike. Can't quite catch Sumail. Sumail now looking to turn. He jumps in. He's found Ellie Sash. The Maledict will come through, but Ellie Sash gets beaten down upon by Fear and Sumail. Bottom lane, that bear. Can he really do it? Can he hold the hopes and dreams together for all the Polish fans out there?
Let's go, Bear.
Misery's on the hunt. Oh, damn. Those jukes. The bear's out.
That was pretty neat.
The mid lane, the tier 4s are in shambles. Exotic Deer's back in 10 seconds. They're trying to spam out EG Kinguin. But again, with the Eye of the Storm at Pados, he's going to make a go for it. With the Epicenter, does bring Fear down to half health. The Earth Splitter comes through, but RTZ rages, moves towards onto Katsor. Katsor forces himself back, but they've lost Pados. The cast gets thrown out, Sumail, used up in the air. They have got the control. Savage Roar as well from the bear, trying to push EG back, but the Static Link's out. The bear falling low. The bear goes down, will be resummoned. They'll look towards RTZ. RTZ rages. He's biting into the bear. They're trying to get the bear back to base. Will the bear survive? He won't. The bear's down. 300 gold there for the side of EG. As RTZ takes down the Witch Doctor. They're falling apart, Kinguin. EG will almost certainly secure this victory as GG is called. EG take the series 2-0, and they will be the ones moving forward here at ESL One Katowice. I mean, as we've said, these guys, it looks like, I don't know what happened overnight, but EG, they've had some talks. Their play is just improved tenfold, and today it looked almost flawless.
I don't even know if it's so much the play, but I think it's more the draft. Like, I think Misery's really in a good groove right now. This Coddle was very impressive in both games. I felt like that hero won them both games. And also, the way that they did the draft, I can't understate it. Like, they bait out, they're like, okay, we might take TB ourselves. And Kinguin are like, okay, we need to take ET. They're gonna take TB, and then they just get Lifestealer. Counters every single one of their heroes.
I think there's no doubt about it. Kinguin, looking back at this series, this game in particular, will certainly feel that the draft was the issue. No amount of play from Exotic Deer could carry them through this one, as they just didn't have the heroes to deal with it. RTZ Lifestealer having the time of his life, as EG will move on 2-0 as they take out Kinguin.
Vodafone presents the post-match.
Yes, indeed. Evil Geniuses moving on to the next round thanks to an MVP performance by Arteezy. He won't get an easier game on the Lifestealer than that, probably, for the rest of the year. Good game from him, good game from his teammates. Unfortunately, not quite enough from the Kinguin boys. Let's wrap things up on our panel once more. Back with Nahaz, Purge and Cap. Cap, good performance by EG, but Will's right. That was a draft. Perfect pick at the end.
Yeah, I hate to take up pretty much all our panel talking points, but Kinguin choked on the draft really hard, and they played actually pretty well for both Game 1 and Game 2. I think they outplayed their draft, but yeah, honestly, I think they were just like in a losing fashion for Game 1, and then somehow it got worse, much worse for Game 2. So
yeah, I actually felt like there weren't that many like Lasso Lifestealer bombs that happened throughout the early mid game. There was a few, but I definitely felt more of the time it was Batrider looking to find heroes. This is maybe the most effective one that really just showed how strong Lifestealer was. He didn't even have to use open wounds on the first target, saves it for the second guy because he's like, oh, I know I can kill 2 heroes. Just as long as Rage is up, there's nothing they can do to stop him.
Yeah, I'll give Fog a little credit because we were watching this game downstairs, and Kinguin was up 5-1 in kills at one point, and Fog just turns to me and goes, wait till back gets blink. And about 30 seconds later, yeah, that happened, and he,
I mean, they were super squishy in the first 10 minutes anyway. Yeah. We knew that they were going to suffer some deaths here and there, but they were never really threatened in the game, though, were they?
Yeah, it's just like once they got that initiation tool, Kinguin really, they had no ability to take fights in the places on the map where they wanted to fight.
It was just so hard against Lifestealer, honestly. Like they could maybe Burrow Strike into a Witch Doctor cask. Like, that's their chain stun. He's going to get Rage off. He's going to, as long as he gets kind of close to your guys, he can kill you. The only time he ever had trouble is if there are 4 staffs to 4 staff away the targets that he's trying to kill. But if he jumps in the middle of 3 heroes, he's going to kill at least 1, maybe 2. So it was just a great Lifestealer game, and Kinguin had trouble.
Cheeky little backdoor attempt by Ola Sash at the end as well.
Yeah. I mean, what else can you do?
Shut him down. I mean, that's the point, isn't it? That's why I think Cap said they outplayed
their draft, yeah.
Outplayed the draft.
This is an 80-20 draft.
It was still a stomp. It's still a stomp, unfortunately, for them, yeah.
And they had the easiest way to high ground ever. Just throw Lifestealer high ground, you get 3 to 4 seconds to hit towers. It was a little slow, but backed up by Coddle Eggs, it doesn't matter. He can turn on Armlet every time he hits the tower, and he just constantly gets healed, and it felt like there was absolutely nothing Kinguin could do to stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a very dominant performance. Obviously, MVP in that game is Arteezy. Couldn't not be, though, could he? I don't want to take anything away. He played really well, but Misery would be the other one for the. I was going to say Misery for the whole series, perhaps, because of the draft and the fact that he paired really well with Saman and
Give a little shot at the Bulba too. I think that's a lot of Bulba influence on those two drafts as well.
Okay.
Most valuable player.
All right, fair enough.
Let's not start that argument again. We'll be here all day. EG obviously goes through. They'll play LGD and Newbie. We were watching downstairs. Game one. Too many spoilers for those that want to watch the game, but my God, that first game that was going on between those two. That was a heavyweight slug. That was, wasn't it?
Oh my God.
That series is intense. You guys should definitely watch it. And I think it's going to go to a game 3. At least I'm really favoring the LGD draft. I only saw the first 4 picks, but that series is super hype.
Yeah, super good. So go and tune in on that one on stream 2 right now, because the winner of that game will play Evil Geniuses in the last game of this particular group. We're headed to a break right now. Don't get too far away, though. Another series is quickly on the heels of this one. EG are making it through yet again. We'll see you soon.
They're going to recall Arteezy. He's pushing all the waves. Although it gets cancelled, this might be an opportunity for them. He doesn't have the Aegis.
He's got the Rage, though. Turns towards Nisha, and he does have the cheese. He's such a hard target to get in, but with the Rage wearing out, jumped straight into and out of the Siege Creep. Elisash actually going for the TP out, but he just gets 2-shot by this Lifestealer.
He's killing everyone.
He really is. This Lifestealer pick.
Life is all about